And we're live. Okay, so whilst we wait for people to jump into the chat room, we'll just introduce the show that we've got on for you this evening, our flashcast. So that could last anywhere between 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour. We just know. So we're just going to see where the wind takes us tonight. But tonight, what we've decided to do is hold a flashcast on Bump in the Night Paranormal, and the fact that Mr. Stephen Howard has filed for insolvency, which means bankruptcy, ultimately, which means his business, Bump in the Night Paranormal, has to dissolve, seeing as he is the only sole director of that company. So we've got a few screenshots for you all tonight so that you can see the proof in the pudding. I'm going to hand over now to CJ whilst I get all of that sorted. Hi, CJ, you right this evening?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Callie. Guys, welcome to the show. Obviously, tonight, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit peeved. And most of you should know me by now. I say it as I say it. I don't hold back. At the end of the day, I'm shocked that it has taken till now for this to come out about Bump in the Night, especially with most of the people who have paid for events and there's been no information put up whatsoever. We've attempted about 2 weeks ago to notify people that, we didn't feel something was right here. And from what we can gather and the information that we have gathered today, it seems that we have been absolutely spot on and correct. I'm shocked that some of the big pages haven't really picked up on this and didn't pick up on it. I don't know why they haven't, because in the past, we have had other event companies that have done stuff, and basically it just exploded on Facebook. We all know whom these companies were. You go back as far as Compass Paranormal and the other idiots that try to rip off loads. And basically everybody went mental. But for this, it was quiet for some reason, and just could not figure out the reason why nobody was talking about it, even though a lot of people in the background knew what was going on. And I've discovered, I'm not going to mention names, but I've discovered that there's been quite a few people that did know that this was happening back in December. Now, we've seen one or two posts from guests that have posted up what's happening about our refund, or what's happening about the date that we have been booked on, because it's been moved. And I can tell you, we're not going to name any locations, but we can tell you and confirm to you that some of these locations have never been contacted and have not been booked. So our instinct on dead ends was absolutely correct, Callie.
It absolutely was. So me and you have done some digging and some homework. One that I can tell you for a fact that was never booked was the Transylvania weekend getaway that's advertised on Bump in the Night. We've done some digging, some contacting. That never happened. That's never been booked. People were paying about £1,000, I believe, putting £1,000 deposit down. Never booked, guys. Never booked.
Yep. So some people are going to be very, very unhappy when they hear about this news, to be quite honest. If it was me, I'd be going mental. Now, I've got to be quite honest. We're not going to go into too much detail because some of the stuff that we know is fact. I particularly know that one or two other locations haven't even been approached as well. I'm not going to name them because they don't want to be named. But you can take it as my word that these locations were not booked by this person, even though deposits probably was taken. So obviously there is a lot of there's going to be a lot of anger about it, to be quite honest with you. I'm angry, and I'm not even involved in it, but I'm angry at the fact that, why is this still continuing within the paranormal field? I mean, our mission as well on Dead Ends is to try to address issues as they are coming up. And it's crazy. And at the end of this show, we've got something which we're going to put up, which is equally astounding to
Yeah,
hear, to
absolutely.
be quite honest with you, especially after certain things that have happened. But Kelly, what have we got up on the screen at the moment? Because I'm sorry, I'm using a small little screen, so I can hardly see it.
So what we've got up first is facts. So these facts are in the public domain, guys. So if you haven't already seen them, here's your facts. They might be tiny and small, but all you need to do is go onto the Insolvency Service Register and just type in Stephen James Frederick Howard, which you can see here. So this is the guy that runs Bump in the Night Paranormal UK. So he is the sole director. As you can see here, he filed for insolvency, bankruptcy, on the 6th of January 2021. I just want to make a slight footnote, and that is currently bankrupt is the status. Automatic discharge will be on the 6th of January 2022. So, yes, that does mean that this person can come back again and start up a new business. I think it's also worth showing you, which again is in the public domain on Companies House. You can see the overview, the filing history, people, and more. But what I'm interested in showing you is the fact that Mr. Howard is the only officer. There has never been any resignations since being appointed on the 8th of January 2018. He is the only director. His role is currently active. And I think if you look at the filing history, if we go back to the insolvency, this was filed for on the 6th of January. If you look at his last confirmation statement, which if you don't understand what that is, that's to let the guys at the Companies House know if there's any changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada. You can see on the 4th of January, there were no updates. And 2 days later, after confirming the statement, Mr. Howard files for bankruptcy.
Which I'll point out isn't actually illegal to do, because he's falsifying information there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But there is something that I do want to pick up on. There's been a comment which we were going to touch about, but we might as well talk about it now because Justin Whitchurch has just posted. I wondered if it's worth publicly actually calling the venues. Yes, it is. Big time. We would advise anybody to ring these venues and ask these venues for yourself. So you can see that we're not, telling lies or bullying it up. We are actually saying and concerned about it. You're absolutely right, Justin. Ring up the venues, speak to the venues. They will tell you if they have been booked or if they haven't been booked. And I think a lot of you need to be prepared for a shock.
A big, massive shock.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Something that I think
we've got a Sue Lethem, who's just said I booked to go to St. Bravels. And was supposed to be last year, and it's cancelled due to COVID. Rearranged that date for the 20th of March. Yeah, was £252.
Sue, all we can advise you is, depending on how you paid, if it was credit or debit card, contact your bank immediately. See if there is anything that they can do for you. If you paid via PayPal, contact PayPal for a refund.
Yeah, and your bank card as well. See if you can get, because sometimes some things are actually protected by them. However, we were talking about it earlier on, Callie, when I mentioned it. This is to do with a paranormal event. Whether the bank is going to cover that and whether they will class it as an event, because it's not like an event like cancelling a concert or a rugby match or a football match or something like that. This is to do with the paranormal. So you will have to make sure that you are, or they will be able to cover it. We're not saying that they will, but it's worth a try, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get sod all back from this company.
No,
And one of the reasons,
if anything, Mr. Howard is probably going to pay £60 a month for his
yes,
bankruptcy.
yes,
Just so
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that, guys. You're all struggling to pay £252.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to pay £60 a month for everything that's been done.
But I've got to be honest, I'm devastated for Sue with that amount of money. You know, people work hard, and this is what we want to bring to the attention. It's not fair. It's not fair on the public. It gives this field a bad name and a reputation. It's not right.
Yeah.
We've got to stop it. We've all got to come together, and we've all got to say no. We're not having this anymore. And this
Yeah.
is why, well, and leads on to something that I have banged on to those who have known me. I have posted it God knows how many times. This field needs proper governance and proper regulation. And it's something that maybe we'll go into at a later show, to be quite honest, because I've got a lot to say about that.
Well, it makes you wonder just how long this was going on for with Mr. Howard bumping the night, because
Yeah.
I just want to make it really clear, this has got nothing to do with any of Bumping the Night team members. I just want to make that clear. Those guys, I've been on events. I can't say I enjoyed the event itself because it was too cramped for my liking, but those guys worked bloody hard. But I know they worked bloody hard for free. They never got a single penny, those guys. They did, their travel was free. That if they had to stay overnight, their travel cost them money. If they had to stay overnight, they had to pay for that out of their own pocket. Those guys work damn hard, really hard.
I really don't understand why, because at the end of the day, if they work, they should have got their money. They should have been paid. At least expenses and travel expenses. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with some of these big companies? Pay your employees, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Without
if they
these
do the work, pay them.
Bumping the Night Paranormal, let me tell you. And I sincerely hope a lot of them have gone on and will go on to do bigger and better things. I really hope so.
We will try to point, and help these guys get into other places. Obviously, I know a few event companies, so does Kelly, and they are good event companies. They pay. Do you know what I mean? So we will try and help as best we possibly can. And I think others should as well, to be quite honest.
Rachel Gardner's put up, we will be looking at St. Breville's again. We'll sort you out somehow. We will do some discount and free space too. I mean, this is exactly what happened last time. I mean, the paranormal community just came together like no one's business to help customers out. And it also helped in some retrospect, some team members as well. Of course, team members have found themselves happier.
Yeah. And I just want to say, God bless you, Rachel, because I'm pretty sure people would appreciate that sort of help. And it's like people like Rachel and their things that are coming that will help out. These are the people you really need. And it does come down, because my head explodes over it, that really people need to do a little bit of homework of who you're actually going with.
Yeah.
Look at the reviews. Phone up venues that you've been with. Just do a little bit of checking before you're paying these big amounts of money. Like you said with the Dracula, over £1,000. How many people have paid into that, for crying out loud?
It makes you wonder, like, if he's been struggling, like a certain person told us a few weeks back. Remember? I won't say who it was. But if that person was struggling, it makes you wonder whether the charity raffles that he was doing were solid. Because I never saw a single thing go up on his channel to say donated that much money to a certain charity ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, at the end of the day, it's like all in hindsight. You do have to be careful. You have to be careful. It's like our other show when we were talking about the GoFundMe one, which we recently done. It's like, you got to check. How do you know that the money that you're paying for, if it's somebody's doing a charity, is going to that charity?
Absolutely.
Instead of going into somebody's personal bank account, i.e., as in possibly this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also worth noting, guys, that we really want you to share this out, not for our sake at all, in any way, shape or form. It's not about likes, follows, whatever for us. please share this out to as many people as you can to try and get this video to as many customers as you can, so that they know that they're not going to be able to go on these events. Because even if someone comes forward and says, okay, I'm going to run Bump in the Night, they can't run Bump in the Night Paranormal UK. It's dissolved.
Oh, Kelly, Sharon Mason or Masson. Sorry if I got your past name wrong, but I keep getting angry customers phoning me as my number was put on there. Don't, guys, don't ring the staff like that, because at the end of the day, it's not their fault. They're not the ones to blame you. Give them a little bit of support, not really banter onto them too much, to be honest. I mean, if we thought they did anything wrong, trust me, I'd be like going mental on them, but they haven't.
Yeah.
They're just as victims here as everybody else is. And I think when this actually gets out into the wider community, I think at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot more anger by people, because it's just not on. I think
a lot of his team members were done over as well, and they've been left picking up the pieces. And like CJ says, we want to make it really clear to any customers watching this, please don't take it out on the team members. They absolutely had nothing to do with this. They're not even directors or members as part of company's house. They literally worked for free to provide you with a great evening at their own expense, might I add. So what you need to do is be angry at Mr. Howard, the sole director, or not now, as the case may be, of Bump in the Night. You need to be emailing. You need to be trying to get hold of him on his Facebook page. There is one that's open. Unfortunately, every time you try to join it, it just sits there and pens. So I don't know how much luck you're going to have with that. Maybe emailing might be your better bet, but do try and get hold of your credit card company, because as of yet, there has not been a single statement put out from Mr. Howard around what decisions he's made with filing for bankruptcy.
And to be quite honest with you, I can tell you that we had people messaging us when we announced it that was defending him, and basically saying, oh, the poor guy, this, the poor, he's had this threat, he's had that threat. Wake up.
Yeah.
This guy is not what you think he is.
Not at all.
He's obviously done an awful lot. And to be quite honest, I've just seen a post, I don't know where it is now, where they're saying that the money wasn't even going into a business account, it was going into a private account.
Yeah.
That's it, there he has. He only had his personal bank account, all the money went to.
So that's a
doesn't that ring an alarm bell straight away?
I'd quite like to see his bank account. So if anybody has paid for Company's House who can see more, if you're more than happy to send me that information privately, and I will keep it confidential, I'd be really interested to see how much he stated he earned year on year. I really would.
Well, to be quite honest with you, again, Rachel, thank you for what your and Front Nights are doing. Rachel Gardner there, she's saying that she will do as much as she possibly can to help, and I'm sure she'll be joined by others as the message gets out there. Love her. Absolutely adore her. And a mum.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the next worrying thing for me and CJ is, and we've really got to push this, guys, so please share the shit out of this, is the fact that, unfortunately, if you go onto the website and scroll down a wee bit, go past February, go into March, let's try St. Breville's. If you go into it, you can actually still book.
Is it not still taking money? Yeah, you can still.
Yeah, it is. I saw one earlier today, and it said it would. I literally went through the whole thing, and it was going to take my money. So I was just trying to.
The problem is that I believe that because he's bankrupt as well, he can't legally, by law, act or do anything with the Bump in the Night. So it would mean that people would need to contact the county court
Here we
inform
go.
the county court, and maybe the county court could do something to take the website down. Because if it's still taking money, that money's going into his account. It's got to be.
So this is something I think me and you should look into, CJ, around that. But what you can see here is Wookie Hole, 27th of March. I'll have one ticket, please. I'll check out. I'll pop my name in there. Continue.
Don't buy a ticket, whatever you do.
There we go, payment. So you can either still pay for tickets by credit or debit card and PayPal. How bloody disgusting is that? And if you're listening, Mr. Howard, take your website down now.
Yeah.
Just take it down, or at least update your announcements to let people know that you're bankrupt and Bump in the Night Paranormal UK is no longer. Take that walk of shame and do the right thing.
We were assured by that one person that came and was telling us, asking us to take the post down because of vulnerable he is, and he's so upset that an announcement was going to be put up.
Yeah, never went up.
We're still waiting for the announcement. That's why we're saying, where's the update? It's not that person's fault, because at the end of the day, I feel for them, because they could have been taken in by a sub story. And I happen to know the individual as well, and I'm like surprised. Do you know what I mean? I'm also a little bit gutted over it. But at the end of the day, we do our own work. Anything that we are saying or putting up is in the public domain, or we have permission from those to say about it. And by the look of it tonight in our chat room, we've got quite a few of the staff, by the sound of it, judging by some of the comments that have come in there.
Yeah.
These are the guys, they're just as pissed off as we are. That's why they're in here.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But, a lot of things have been said in the years, and I've heard things that have gone around, and I'm not generally one for rumors, but I have heard that unfortunately in some cases he could be quite manipulative as a person. I mean, how true that is, I don't know. I never spoke to him personally, but I mean, so how can you, like I said, go file for bankruptcy on the 6th of January?
Yeah.
And then on the 4th, but before that, 2 days before that, then tell Companies House everything's all right, I ain't got any updates for you. You must know you're in the shitter. You must know that.
Yeah. Well, the problem also lies, and I'll be quite honest with you, is with Companies House, because at the moment, the way Companies House is set up, it hasn't got any teeth. It hasn't got any real teeth to do anything. No. There's been talk within central government and within government that that Companies House should be given this a little bit extra powers to deal with situations like this, because another year ago past, it'll come up. Could he just suddenly pop up somewhere else under a different company's name, and all this will start up again? There should be some sort of power to say, hang on, you're not going to be bankrupt for a year. You're not going to be once you've done something like that, you're buggered. That's my opinion. You're buggered. I've been a director, believe it or not, and this is going to shock a lot of people. I've been a director of a multi-million-pound housing association. You can look that up on the internet and put my name in. You'll see it. Newport City Homes. I helped start that up, and I know exactly how Companies House works. So if I was warned that if I did anything as a director to disqualify me, it's done and dusted. But they had nothing to enforce it. So I could have gone back after a year.
To be fair, he should have resigned before the confirmation statement was done, because that's the law.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Make of that what you will.
He should have appointed somebody else either as a director or even as a caretaker director, to resolve any issues with Bump Night. But he probably didn't, because the money's gone, probably. And that's the sad part about it. The money is gone, folks, unless you're one of the lucky ones where you may be able to get it pulled back in some way or form. I hope you really do. Because my heart bleeds out to everybody that has lost the money
totally,
here.
totally. And I know, and I hope the paranormal community comes together again to rally to help some of these people out. I really do. I mean, I would if I had
Yeah.
a big team. I'd certainly a couple of spaces.
To be quite honest, I know I do the Jamaica Inn, but unfortunately, we're not an event company. It's the Jamaica Inn that does that. We just host the nights. Or I'd be giving out places left, right, and centre, because I'd be like, just come down the lot of you, but I can't. I wish I could. But what I will do is I will go back to the owner and I will have a word with the owner over it and just see if is there something we can do to show a little bit of solidarity there. Fingers crossed, something might come back, something might not, but we can ask.
Well, Night Frights Paranormal say it's been a tough year for everyone, but it's the total wrong way to go about everything. And there was a comment here. Where is it? I can't see it now, but it does state that he was thinking about shutting the group down a year ago. So, I mean, if that's the case, he's had a bloody year, yeah? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
why hook everybody along? Book events that you haven't actually booked, rake the money in, and then go, bankruptcy.
Yeah. Chris Grimshaw, we did touch about it earlier on about a bank. We would say try your damnedest to go to the bank and see if the bank will refund that money. But I suppose with everything else, there may possibly be a time limit of when you can retrieve some money. And if it's gone over that, then unfortunately, like a lot of other people.
It is worth talking to your bank, because we are talking, COVID has happened and banks are being a lot more helpful than they were previously. So it is damn well worth chatting to your bank and seeing what they can do for you 100%. If you've paid by debit or credit card, you're not going to lose anything by trying. So give it a try and then let us know how you got on. Absolutely.
I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm just looking through the
PayPal. So PayPal do have some sort of insurance with your money. It's always worth going to PayPal. There may be a cut-off point with them as well, so it is worth noting that there may be a cut-off point. But they're pretty good if you ring them, actually.
Just to see Chris Boyer, he said, I used to work in debt recovery, so know quite a lot about it. Maybe, Chris, if you've got some information or helpful information, you could put it up and we'd flash it up on the page, or send some information to us. We'll put it up on our page. That would be a big help, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, anything you guys have got that's facts, not fiction. Can't do anything with fiction, I'm afraid, unless you've got something to back it up. We're more than happy to keep you confidential and keep you out of it. And we are more than happy to use anything factual. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and please, there's another thing as well. We need to make sure that everybody is aware there is not just one bump in the night. There is others. There's one apparently in America, which I didn't even know about. And they've been contacted, and it's he's had people apparently contact. So it's not the one in America. The one we were referring to is Bump in the Nights UK.
So their official page, which had over, I think it's 80,000 members, that one's closed, guys. You can't get to that one. It doesn't even appear. It is shut down. The fan page for Bump in the Night Paranormal is still there. It says 12K members on it. Like I said, if you try to join that page, it will sit and just penned. There is a Bump in the Night page, like CJ says. I got in touch with them yesterday and spoke to them, because I'm a bit worried that anybody using that same name is going to start getting inundated with messages. So prior to going live, we did do our background and we did go to all of these people. So it's down to them whether they wish to make a statement on their own page saying they're not affiliated.
I would advise them to do that, to put something up and say, please bear in mind, we are not the bump in the night that has gone recently bankrupt.
Yeah.
Something has just flashed up that I'm like more than shocked about. Ruth Ford, he asked me to be a guarantor for a loan.
Yeah, apparently he's asked a lot of people to be a guarantor for a loan, and a lot of people did it. So
Oh
there are
my
a lot of
God.
people that now have that debt on their heads.
Oh my good God. Let's hope maybe, well, I suppose, yeah, if you've gone guarantor, you become responsible for the debt, don't you? Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that, Ruth. I really am.
Much love to you, my darling. Graham Mason says, my wife was led up a garden path by bump in the night. She was the contact for all phone calls, which sometimes was at 2 a.m. every day, including...
Sorry, Kelly.
Yeah,
What? Over 10 grand?
1 second. Every day, including weekend, no pay. And I'm just annoyed that Sharon is now getting flack for something we know nothing about until the beginning of this month. Bear in mind, she left BITN in December. Where's that? Let's have a look.
So it's Ruth Ford again. Yes, over 10 grand.
Oh,
Sorry, I
hang on.
didn't mean to jump in. I'm
Kirk
gobsmacked.
Stevens. He asked Kirk Stevens for 15 grand.
What?
I hope you didn't do it, Kirk. I really hope you didn't do it. No, he wasn't looking to sell half the business, I don't believe. I think he made two people directors and he stepped down. But actually, he never made them real directors because he never added them onto Companies House. Because if he did, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because those two new directors would then have to put up with all this debt that he's left them in. But fortunately, they didn't, and in his true fashion, left himself as sole director, which means the company now dissolves.
Yeah, well, yeah. To be honest, it's gone. I mean, do you know? I'm just like shocked. I really am shocked. I mean, the state of the field as it is at the moment, it's unbelievable. I mean, for things like this to happen, and to happen to good people as well, it's not on. I'm going to say, if there's anybody here from any of these big groups, if there's anybody here that is from, or even from Haunted Magazine, come on, guys, let's get this sorted. Let's clear up this field as best we can. At least everybody could come together on that. At least everybody could, and there shouldn't even be any dispute or even any, if you've fallen out with somebody. We need to come together. This has got to stop. This ripping off members of the public has got to stop.
It really has. It's absolutely disgusting. And this, we just need people in this field who genuinely want to give customers a good night and not at the expense of the customer's pocket. Ash Jordan says, anyone affected, ex-staff or customers, feel free to get in touch with me. I'll do what I can to help out, whether it's giving you a position or a discount on investigations. Wonderful.
Was that Ash?
Yeah, Ash Jordan.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Ash. That's appreciated.
No, the company wasn't sold.
No.
Sharon's a lovely lady. Yeah, she is. She is lovely. Yep.
Is there, we need to ask as well, Kelly, to be quite honest, there's a lot of people in there. If you can put the link up again, if anybody wants to come on and actually come and join us and is happy to come and join us, please feel free to do that. We don't bite, we are friendly. Instead of you just looking at our two ugly mugs all the time, if you want to come down... come on and have a chat about it. People have spoke about it in the chat room, so it's out there in the open. We've made it open. There's nothing to worry about. Come and join us on the show.
Absolutely. If you mentioned anything bad about the company, his legal team would message, which would be one of his so-called directors threatening legal action. Well, I don't think he'd be threatening with his legal team now. He's probably going to have to pay £60 a month back. Mind you, it might be swimming in everybody else's money. So that would have to be kept in a safe, I imagine, because he can't have that much money. Otherwise, they would have it.
You know what my view is. He wants to threaten me. Bring it on.
And as Graham says, he made 2 people director in name only. It's
Only.
exactly what he did. He did not put those guys at all on Company's House, because I've showed you Company's House. You can all go and have a look at it.
Everything that we're saying, it's open. It's there. Just want to say a quick hello to Trisha, and Trisha's just joined us in as well. And yeah, you did, love. Good as gold. Good as gold.
He was awful with that and told those that remained, when others left, no one was allowed to contact each other again. Who the now is this bloke? Jesus Christ. Do you know what, guys? If you want to contact anybody, if you're in another team, crack on. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
my team, right, know for a fact they can go out with whoever they like. You know, as long as they say, don't book anything for this day because I'm going to be doing this with so and so, or I'm just going to be doing this, whatever. Crack on. Because isn't this field meant for sharing?
There seems to be an element of control that goes on. Some of these people, they're big personalities. You know, at the end of the day, it's the same applies with my Jamaican Inn team, which is Corinne, Lisa, Rachel. They can do whatever they want to do. We come together as one team when we come down to Jamaica Inn, or even when we go out with South Bristol with Corinne's team, or Lisa's team, or anything like that. Everybody's able to go off and do it. There's no control element there. It's fine.
Absolutely.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, Trish says I struggled to stay on top of everything after my accident, particularly paperwork as a company when I was left in the lurch. So it just continued with everything but for 2 years, then applied to Company's House to dissolve. I'd never have dropped everything and robbed people. Now we know that, mate. You are a decent human being.
Well, she's a fellow dragon, isn't she? Let's be honest, that with Trish.
Yeah, absolutely. She is wicked. Ruth Ford says, I'm happy to join. Not a problem, my lovely. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome. The link is here. All you got to do is just click on it. And then you don't need to download anything. Just pop in whatever name you want. You don't even need to put your video camera on. Rachel says, I would have joined, but just took my face off. Jess Pender, I felt like I was pushed out of the company for taking time off to help my mum after her back operation too. Then blocked by all existing members, lost many people I thought of as friends. But I bet you any money, Jess, they all feel ashamed of what happened and just want to talk to you again, but they're probably worried about talking to you. So I would say all you ex-team members, you've all been done over massively. Make friends again, because it was probably all bullshit.
Chris Bower has just posted up. I run I Haunt UK. I'm happy to offer discount to people who have had issues with Bump in the Night and can probably help some of the staff too. Thank you. Drop a message, no problems. Also happy to join at any point. There you go. There you go. Just see, people will come in. This paranormal field is not as bad as what a lot of people have actually come in and said. There are people out there that have got kind hearts and really, really, really good.
Absolutely. And, you know, some people might not know of Mr. Stephen Howard, and that's okay, because most of us, as customers, we go by the name of the company rather than the person. It's only when you start to get to know that person do you not call it Bump in the Night anymore. You just call it Steve or whatever. So don't feel bad about that.
Well, guys, you know, people that don't know him, let's make him bloody famous tonight. Come on.
Well, so Kirk Stevens says, I understand he never donated anything to cancer research as well after collecting hundreds of pounds from raffles. Well, there you go. I mean, that just says it all, really, doesn't it? I mean, cancer research as well. Jesus Christ, this just gets freaking worse. He has no legal team or HR team. He uses those terms to deflect responsibility. I would say massively. Let's have a look. What else?
There's a post there from a Jess Pender. I'm anxious to go on ghost hunts again since working with him. Only been on one since I left with haunted. I presume she means she's gone with haunted houses. Haunted houses, isn't that our la, 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 la. Who runs haunted houses?
Hazel Ford. Is it Hazel?
No, no, not haunted houses. Haunted houses is oh, I can't think of his name.
Oh, I don't know. Haunted houses will always welcome you, along with
Yeah.
any member of the public, to join us on our investigations.
Oh, bucket me, I can't think of his name.
Even Tricia says, can't go wrong with haunted houses. Haunted
There
houses
you
are
go.
our biggest competition as a company, and I still book with them and had a lot of respect for owners.
Who's the owner? Who's the owner? Trish? Put his name up, please.
Chris
Chris
Shell.
Shell. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, Chris Shell. And I think he's commented earlier on, to be
Chris
quite
Shell
honest.
is an absolute legend. Let me just say, for any new customer looking to book with a new ghost company, please don't let Bump in the Night put you off, all right? It just means you need to do a little bit more research before you tend to book anything. But can I just say, Chris Shell from Haunted Houses has kept his company going throughout the whole of COVID. He has been a little calm person. He's been a little bit up here, but he has just done an absolutely smashing job of keeping his business afloat throughout COVID, along with many others.
The others, yeah.
Many others.
I just wanted to say, just getting that in, Chris. I'll put my bill in the post as usual. Okay.
Pounds.
But yeah, no. But yeah, at the end of the day, there you are. You know, she went with a good one there. To be quite honest, they're not all bad. You know, people will go their way to help. Sorry, he asked. Sorry, Laura Mitchell.
Yeah.
But he asked us for 15,000 to support the business. When we couldn't help, he called us for everything. Then showed up wearing. Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Omega watch, isn't it? Well, dear God, why didn't he raffle that off, or why didn't he pull that? A lot of businesses have done that in the past, to be quite honest. If anyone lives in the south of England and used from Alison Wilson and used to work for Bump in the Night, please contact me. I am the Southern Manager of Haunted Houses, and we are taking on hosts. Guys, there you are. Thank you so much, Alison. It's appreciated. Yes, people will come out and help.
Now people are being nice. Me and CJ would like to do podcasts from haunted locations. Anyone want to give us one?
Well, I just think it'd be just good just to get out there, out and about. Get us out of the restrictions first, and let's see what we can do. But yeah, to be quite honest with you, tonight has been an eye-opener in many different ways. I said to you, Callie, I just had a gut feeling that something was not right about this. And listening to the horror stories tonight, and they are horror stories, and some of the people who have lost money and probably are messaging that page and not getting responses because he can't respond. If he does, he's breaking the law. So nobody's going to get and respond.
Because now his business is dissolved, he literally cannot use his work email. He can't use his business email because his company is dissolved. So he's not allowed access to any of it. So
thank you, Denise has shared in 8 groups. We've got to get this message out there. We've got to say, people, listen, hey, you need to know about this. So we need to reach his customers, so his customers are aware what has happened, what's gone on, and that they are informed. Because then at least they can do something about trying to get some sort of refund if they can. Bear in mind, a company that's bankrupt, you can't get money back off them because they've declared bankruptcy.
Absolutely. And you know what, guys? I know there might be some people in this chat room who aren't talking tonight going, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Please tell me how so many team members on here have got the same story about one person, but yet they're all wrong. So, because we know there'll be people watching, there's 67 people watching so far, and we know some of them We'll be going, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Got to tell Steve that, crack on, because they're all telling the same story, all of them.
But at the end of the day, Kelly, here's a little message from CJ. Grow a pair of balls, get on the show, and come and face us if that's the case. Because I don't get intimidated by anyone. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, what's happened is wrong.
Yeah.
And, if you want to defend somebody that's done stuff like this, come and defend him. Just come on and grow a pair. Don't be a keyboard warrior.
Absolutely. And we invite Stephen to come on. So if he wants to come on, do his public statement live on Dead Ends, please, Steve, get in touch, because we're more than happy to have you on the show. I've got a few questions for you, and so CJ.
Oh, I got more than a few. Trust me, more than a few.
So I really hope, guys, that you've been able to hear some of the team members tonight. God bless their souls. I really hope that we've given you a little bit more insight, so that you know that what we have shown you and what we have personally spoken about is fact and not fiction. What you make of that is completely down to you. But again, as I say, how can you file for insolvency on, I believe it was the 6th of January, and then tell Companies House on the 4th of January, there isn't an issue, no issue. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Kelly, is there not something that needs to be going underneath?
On
the banner? Yeah, there should be something, and it's something else that we're going to be looking into.
Don't we have an exclusive?
I think we might. I don't know.
I think we do have an exclusive.
Yeah.
I think it's important, and we need to let people know.
Yeah. Do you want to put the banner up? Yeah, here we go. If you want to read it. And this, if my memory serves me right, was the group that came on and spoke about the GoFundMe, and were quite vocal. Now I'm pretty sure that I now understand the reason why. So, oh, look, there's his lovely little face there.
Oh, look at it.
Mr. John Tanner, who apparently he's back.
Back again, sponsoring Retford Ghost Hunters, making his gadgets again. So, guys, please, please, please just be very careful. All right?
Yeah.
We've gone round and round in circles with this Mr. Tanner. I'm sorry I can't get the picture up the other way, but it's a Facebook picture.
No, it looks better that way. It looks like somebody's putting his head through a wall.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, but this will be a future thing that we're going to be looking into, I think, because, again, I don't think this guy really gives a damn of what he's done in the past. And a lot of people was ripped off by him. And by the look of it, it's still continuing. So, unfortunately, we will be seeing you, Mr. Tanner, in a future show.
Absolutely. Right then, CJ, I think that's us done for this evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry again for coming in on a abnormally podcast. We don't normally do this. We like to keep it to once a month. But this couldn't wait. We had to get the message out. And we'd like to thank everybody that has come in, the dead enders that have joined us. I'm pretty sure Kelly's got your badges winging its way for those who have hadn't.
Message us today are going to be getting a badge.
Yeah, there you go. And again, we're so sorry to hear about the staff, and thank you for coming on. You've shocked me. You've told us a lot more than what we knew. Yeah. And I think you've helped a lot of guests. And keep sharing this, because at the end of the day, we really do need to get this message out there. It's not about dead ends. It's not about me. It's not about R. Kelly.
No.
What we want to get out is the message, and a clear message. Yeah. And I reiterate again what I said earlier on. People need to come together to rid this field of this sort of activity that's going on. It's not fair. It's not right. It's given all of us a bad name, and we really need to kick some ass.
We do.
Nothing to be afraid. You don't need entertainment. You need educators in the paranormal. Remember that.
We love you guys. Take care. And remember,
thank you for watching.
Dead end. Bye.
Bye.